13, I wasn't focusing on driving the car. I wanted to know who was seeing me. I'm driving the car, you know. Focus on driving the car. And today, you know, we're busy tweeting or texting or talking on our Bluetooth or listening to the radio, watching the GPS, eating a sandwich, combing our hair, putting on lipstick. I don't know what all the things people are doing while they're driving the car, and very few people are focusing on driving the car. That's why we have accidents. I read a survey someplace somebody had done, I forget what country it was in, but in essence, they had no traffic laws. There were no lanes, there were no stop signs, there were no stop lights. You just got on the car and you went. And if it was the first time you saw it and you observed it, it was like total chaos. People were going in all different directions all the time in so many places, and I mean narrowly missing each other, but there were no accidents. They had fewer accidents per capita, per driver, per automobile than any city in the United States. And they had no traffic laws. And the conclusion is because you were required to focus. You had to know where everybody was at, and every direction that everybody was going, and where they might go at the last minute, and where you wanted to get to. So it was required that you be focused. So there was no allowance for somebody to look the other way to see if anybody noticed you, or if your hair was positioned in the right place. You had to be absolutely, totally focused on what you were doing, and they did it so well. And it was natural for them. And they had an incredible safety record in driving. Imagine that. It led me to think that perhaps we have too many laws going on. We don't even know what most of the laws are until we get busted for breaking one of the laws, because there's just so many of them. But what if we focused on doing what was right? What if we focused on what we were doing? What if we focused on the life that we are living? If you want to focus on your outcome, you want to focus on the life that you're living, you're going to have to find some time, and you're going to have to find some place, and you're going to have to find that environment where you can get quiet and you can eliminate all of the outside attractions, the fans or the lights or whatever's buzzing here. You have to eliminate that. You have to eliminate the movement of other people. You have to eliminate all of the monkey chatter that is going on in your mind in order to get focused, in order to find some clarity in that moment of what is it that I want in my life. See, all of you are focused right now. You're in that space, you're in that zone. Abraham calls this the vortex. You have aligned your mind and your spirit and your body and your soul into that place, into this moment right here, right now, thinking about where it is that you want your life to move to be, to become. So the mental equivalent that you need to bring forth is that ideal of what it is that you're looking for. The mental equivalent was given to us by the master teacher Jesus. It said, "It is done unto you as you believe." That's a mental equivalent. It is done unto you as you believe. If you find yourself in a place, and I'm going to use Tim because he gave us the example. So he wanted a job where he made a lot of money so he could retire early. So that was his mental equivalent. His job was about a lot of money, and he'd retire early, and he got there. And then when he got there, he didn't have another outcome ready. Okay, so I have a lot of money and I've retired. Now what? Well, now I have to worry about it because he's still focused on his outcome. And he had to go through a process in order to develop some new outcome that wasn't going to be stuck on this idea that he had to get a lot of money and retire. He had already done that. Been there, done that. It was already complete. Now what? What's next? If we don't have a dream big enough, something that we can strive that's going to take an entire lifetime, and even then we're not going to get there, and then when we do get there, we don't know what it was, we just know that we got there. That was the excitement and the enthusiasm that these students had in this class that I was teaching. They had no idea where they were going to go. They just knew they wanted something more. And when they got there, they didn't want it to end, but they knew they had gotten something more. They knew that their lives had transformed. They knew that they had moved to a new level of consciousness. And now what? So now they have to have a greater idea. And they don't even know what the first idea was. So now you've got to have a bigger idea than what you had in the beginning. You don't even know what that idea was. Does this sound confusing? Does it sound like it's exciting and enthusiastic? It does for me. Yes. I get very excited about not knowing where I'm going, but knowing that I'm going there. I get very excited about trying to create the ideal in my life. I get very excited about coming up with a new dream, because my focus becomes where it is that I'm wanting to move to, and I'm not so bothered anymore about what's going on around and about me. Here's what I have discovered in my experience in life. There will always be something going on around and about you. Always. Always, always, always. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it belongs to you, sometimes it has nothing to do with you. You just have to kind of like gingerly step over it or around it, not into it. Because you don't want to get into it. You don't want to get into somebody else's stuff. But a lot of us want to get into somebody else's stuff. A lot of us want to, oh, I know what you need. I know exactly what you need. I know where you need to go. Let me tell you. And then we get up onto the process of how we're going to get there. And we start worrying about the process. And we've lost focus of the outcome. Focus on the outcome, the ideal. For me, the ideal is to be aligned with that divine spirit that I know that is already within me, that guides me, protects me, and I trust in it. So everything that happens in my life happens for a divine purpose. Sometimes I argue with that purpose. This was not what I thought it was going to be, but I know it's a divine purpose. So if it's there in front of me for me to do, then I need to move through it. I need to move beyond it. I need to move forward. It's calling me someplace. It is a divine urge that has taken me into a greater experience of life. My ideal is to live to be at least 120. And this came to my mind when I was a child. I don't know why.